Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode number 34 of UnCoMfY CoNvOs. This is your boy Shiv, your guy, your dude, your man, your boy, your man boy, whatever you want to call me. And today we're going to talk about oldest sibling anxiety. If you're the oldest sibling listening, or maybe if you're not and you know your oldest sibling, I hope you know you're the oldest sibling if you're a younger sibling. But maybe there's different anxieties or pressures that come with that. Maybe there's certain blessings that come with that too. And to talk about this anxiety, I got our oldest sibling in our family on the pod. She's she's 33 years old. That's not the main stat. I mean, that's the new young. 30 is the new young nowadays. She's a kick-ass mom, a wonderful sister, one of the two best, I would say, if I had to pin it down.
You have to say that. You have to say
that. She's a phenomenal singer. Is an amazing singer, and she's professional, basically, if you want to hire her, whenever. She was a college tennis player as well. Played collegiate tennis at Wagner College back in the day, so she's very talented. But I don't know if she can beat me. That's we'll have to.
I don't think
we'll have to play. We'll have to figure it out.
Only at Uno.
Only at Uno. Yeah. So without further introduction, thank you so much for being on, Pooja Fitzsimmons.
Thank you, Shiv, for having me.
Yeah, no worries.
I'm so proud of you.
Yeah.
Gotta say, watching you put in like the hard work and have determination and all these hours and all the time and energy and thought you put into it is really impressive.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Very inspiring.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I mean, I did watch football for like 4 hours today, but other than that.
Yeah, but you got to do that sometimes.
Yeah, and we played Uno. Yes. But I'm gonna cut the crap. How does it feel? Not that was crap. That was good. That was very honest and heartfelt, and I appreciate it. But that was the line I wrote on my sheet.
Cut the crap?
Yeah, I wrote "cut the crap" as the phrase.
Interesting.
So how does it feel being the oldest sibling?
Feels good. I mean, I don't know anything else, so.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. One of the things I thought about when I thought about, like you being the oldest sibling, you brought up stories of when you were little, like there was in school, maybe you didn't know certain norms or mom and dad were new to America. Yeah. So I remember you mentioning like there's like a unibrow phase, which I had too for a long time.
I still have it. If I don't take care of it, I still have one. It doesn't go away, It only goes away temporarily.
Yeah.
Good thing I took care of mine Thursday.
How quick does yours grow back, though?
I mean, maybe like a week, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But it's not like all at once.
Yeah.
So you have to like take care of it in pieces.
Right. Mine's like 3 days.
Oh my God.
I think 4 days. If I go 4 days without doing anything, it's there. I have like a 5 o'clock shadow in the middle of my eyebrows.
At 2 o'clock.
At 2 o'clock, yeah. But no, I remember that. So you went into school. I don't want to bring up a past trauma, but you would go into school, right? With my uni. With the unibrow.
Yeah.
And a
mustache.
What did they?
No one really said anything about it.
Yeah.
I just noticed it afterwards when I looked at pictures. But I went from like one extreme to another. So like I had a full uni, and then I decided to wax myself when I was like in 9th grade, I think, or 8th grade.
Yeah.
Maybe it was 8th grade. And then instead of a full uni, I had like unibrow, like brows out to here and just lines.
Oh, wow.
So there was no in between.
Yeah.
And then slowly I figured it out.
Yeah. I remember the lines thing. My mom and I were like anytime I messed up an eyebrow, we'd get like the eyebrow pencil and like color.
Oh yeah, you fill it in.
Yeah, I'd fill it in, and I was so uncomfortable with that because if anyone was close to my face, they'd know.
Or if you're sweating, it like starts.
You know,
You have to make sure you use waterproof eyeliner.
it turns into eye black. You look like an NFL player going out on the field, but you have no eyebrows and just eye black.
Just this.
I definitely had that experience. I wonder, like, for some of those experiences, right? Like, you didn't maybe know, or like, like, oh, like maybe I should take the mustache off and like the unibrow off. I didn't know either, really.
I didn't know. Nobody told me.
Right. But Prutha coming up, so for our listeners, Prutha is the second oldest.
Yeah.
And so she's the middle child. So I'm wondering, did you give her advice of like, oh, like you should take, like, if
No.
anything was.
No.
Okay, got it.
Nope.
Got it. Unique experience.
I just
Okay, yeah, I was just wondering.
I just
Honest.
didn't help a sister out, literally.
Yeah.
She kind of figured it out on her own. But her eyebrows were a lot lighter than ours.
Right.
They still are. They're not as intense, you know?
Right. Yeah.
But I was so odd that, like, for picture day in 7th grade,
Yeah.
I kept my retainer in.
Right.
Like, that's removable.
Right.
So why would you keep your retainer in on picture day? I don't know.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, I wore like sweatshirts to picture day, so I didn't either really prepare for it,
Yeah, but the retainer is pretty bad.
Yeah, the retainer is I saw it. Well, didn't he have it for a while, or he had them for at night?
Yeah, I think he did.
Yeah. Why is that funny?
I don't know.
Funny? I don't know.
Dads don't wear retainers.
Yeah. I remember that. But he never wore it during the day. I think when he was sleeping or something. Or then no, he had the mouth. He had the mouth guard too. Yeah. And he had the retainer though for a while.
Yes, he did have the retainer because he got the invisible braces.
Right. Yeah.
Probably like around his 40s or something.
Yeah.
Pre-midlife crisis.
Right. Along with the hair surgery.
The injections.
Call back to the last episode. Bye for the listeners. This is just turning into a family podcast now. I'm just gonna
pretty much, yeah.
It's just, I'm kidding.
An Indian family podcast.
Exclusive. No. If you want to be on the pod, please do message me. I don't have too many people that are lined. No, I'm kidding. There are a lot of people. You don't know.
Yeah. Nobody needs to know how many people you have in line.
Yeah. It's a surprise every week to week.
It's like Trader Joe's when you go. It's like the line's out the door. Have you seen the line at Trader Joe's these days?
No.
Because of, I guess, socially distancing, it's literally out the door.
Oh, got it.
And that's what you have going on.
Yeah, it probably has. Yeah, that's what's happening with there's just a line. People are standing in a line right
now outside.
Yeah. That's how I do this. If anyone wants to be on, they have to stand in a line.
Yeah, it's like they're waiting for the new Jordans to come out or the new iPhone.
Yeah. But that's such a funny idea that the spacing between them creates more space, right? It's like, because 6 feet, if the line was already out the door, what would 6 feet between each person do? Like, it'd go all the way to, it'd go like the whole town or something.
The only Trader Joe's in East Greenwich. And it's not even in East Greenwich. I think it's in Warwick.
There's people at our house and Trader Joe's isn't even near us, waiting in the line for Trader Joe's.
From Bald Hill Road.
But no, I do wonder. So generally, obviously, like the unibrow was something maybe that was just didn't know, and then it just kind of happened. It was genetic.
Yeah.
But were there other things in school or like norms and stuff that when you were younger, did you feel like, oh, I didn't know that I should have known that, or because you were the first, you didn't pick up on things as fast socially?
No, not really.
Got it.
I don't know. I think Mom and Dad were like obviously the first generation here, so they were trying to figure out what the norm was. Yeah. I was kind of just going with the flow. Like I made friends, and then whatever they did, I did. Not to say everything they did, I did, but
right.
We pretty much, I don't know. Wasn't anything that I was like, oh, I didn't know about that. I just learned as I went.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, that's that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's similar even between the like middle sibling, like,
Yeah.
and you, I think we all grew up on our own, and then but we had different friends and stuff, and so we grew
Yeah.
up in different ways. Um,
I mean, the only thing is that when I first came to Frenchtown, shout out to Frenchtown.
yeah,
Some of the kids, because we lived in North Kingston, came to Frenchtown for third grade,
right.
and they called me Poopa Paddle,
Oh no,
and that was really sad.
yeah, that is kind of sad.
I know.
It was in sixth grade.
Third,
Oh, so third grade. Got it.
yeah.
Third grade. Yeah. How'd you handle that?
I just didn't.
You should have. You should have been like, "Oh yeah, poop a paddle," and then like thrown poop at like that you pooped
Yeah,
at them. Yeah,
on call.
yeah.
I bring it to school.
You're like, "That's right, I am poop a paddle," and then you throw the
Poop
poop.
on a paddle.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're like, you turned into this superhero as a child for throwing poop at bad guys.
That would be like Spider-Man, like, but it's poop instead of a web.
That's so gross. What's your? Oh my gosh! You saved my son. What's your name? It's Poopa. Poopa Paddle.
Paddle.
It's like James Bond. The name's Poopa.
Poop paddle.
No, the name's Bond. James Bond. The name's Paddle. Poopa Paddle.
Poop a paddle. My number would be 2 instead of 007. Be like 002. Remember, Dad was telling us that in India, when he was in school, they had to, you always have to raise your hand to go to the bathroom. But in India, they had to raise either a 1 or a 2,
Yeah.
so the teacher would know if they had to do pee pee or poopy. And I feel like that's an invasion of privacy.
Yeah, that's TMI.
Yeah,
That's too much information.
but yeah, maybe that's what I should be for Halloween next year.
A poop.
002.
002. Got it. But like a poop, you get like a poop suit. That's so
That would be funny, actually.
Well, that was similar to your experience with farting John. For our listeners, there was a farting toy in CVS, and Pooja went in there and found it intriguing. And every time she walked by it, it made a fart noise.
Farting ninja.
Farting Ninja, right? Yeah. Farting John is the name that.
Rob gave it.
Yeah. It was later named. But when you were in the store, take us through what happened.
I was in CVS.
Yeah.
I just kept walking down this aisle, and I just kept hearing this little like fart sound, very like muffled. I was like, "What is that?" And then I realized after like the third time that it was this little ninja. It's called Farting Ninja, and it's censored. So every time you walk by it, it's like, but it says all different sounds. Yeah. And then at one point it says, Fart Ninja.
And then it farts.
And then it farts.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's hilarious. And then I was in CVS like 2 or 3 days later, and I was like, I gotta get this thing. Yeah. So I just bought it for myself.
Yeah.
As a 33-year-old mom.
That's great. Wait, but then what happened as you were trying to leave the store with it?
Oh, God. So then I was trying to leave the store with it, and I didn't have a cart. So I had like 5, 6, 7, 8 things in my hands. And then every time I would I was trying to walk to the cash register. I was walking by customers, and the thing would just go off. So I'm like, oh, excuse me. Oh, sorry. Like, oh, I'm sorry. So sorry. And everyone probably was like, what is going on? Because they couldn't see the ninja. It was like stuffed in with all my and it was pretty funny. Yeah. And I walked by like an older man who was probably in his 70s or something, and it went off, and he was probably like, oh, don't worry, it happens to me all the time. Sometimes they just slip out.
Sometimes they must have been like, she's something's going on in her
something's going on there.
Yeah, she
must have just hit up Taco Bell.
Yeah. Well, that is Taco Bell's we're big proponents of Taco Bell, but did that love for Taco Bell come from after we were born, or was it did you discover Taco Bell on your own?
No, Mom and Dad used to take us there all the time.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's true.
They took us to Taco Bell a lot, Olive Garden.
Yeah.
Mexican and Chinese food, I feel like, were pretty popular amongst the household, and Italian.
Right. Did you feel like growing up, because you were the first child and Mom and Dad were still like kind of
figuring figuring it out.
Figuring it out and getting their bearings here in America too, like growing business and stuff like that, and not having as many resources necessarily. Do you feel like you had more? I had a lot of fast food. I think I had a good amount of fast food when I was little.
Yeah.
If you like what your primary meals were when you were younger,
No, I think I ate home most of the time.
you ate home?
Yeah.
So just Indian food, right?
No, mom used to cook like tomato soup, corn soup, sandwiches. We did homemade Rice Krispie treats,
Yeah.
waffles.
Waffles. Wow.
Yeah, I ate home a lot. Most of my food was at home.
That's good. That's good to know. I mean, when I initially was thinking about it, I was like, Pooja was eating, whatever they could get. But it's good to know
No.
you're having waffles and like good.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah. When did you get your first phone?
High school.
High school. Got it.
I
Got it.
think I was in 10th grade.
10th grade.
Yeah, it was a little blue. It was so cute. It was like a blue little flip phone.
Yeah.
Adorbs.
When did your friends get them?
I think it was around the same time because that's when they really came out, like got popular,
Got it. Makes sense. Yeah.
where like everyone was getting them.
Yeah. I bring that up because I kind of feel like, obviously, with my generation and Prutha's generation too, like just like the middle sibling, like we
Yeah.
had maybe more technology, more access to things. I got my first phone early.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, kids nowadays are getting them at like 8, 9. It's crazy.
right.
Or even maybe sooner. I don't even know.
Yeah. Yeah. So do you feel like looking back, like, oh, like you not missed out, but if you saw like us growing up,
Yeah.
different technologies, were you like, oh, like I kind of wish I grew up with that, or like,
No, because I wasn't missing out on anything because no one else had it.
right. So socially, it was always
Yeah. We
similar.
were always like on the same level.
Got it.
It's
Yeah.
not like all my friends had it for 5 years and then I got it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't feel like I missed out on anything.
Yeah. That's good. I mean, I feel like personally, I was probably the most spoiled child because I got a lot of stuff, but I don't think I was spoiled because I wanted a lot of stuff. I think I just got a lot just because of being the youngest.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out, like, did you ever feel, being the oldest sibling, that, I don't know, like that maybe like, oh, like more resources to like us, or like more time spent, or any differences? Did you kind of observe that, or were you more
Like,
kind of focused on your own stuff?
no, I was pretty much doing my thing.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wasn't like,
No.
oh, she was getting this, or Pruta got this, or why didn't I get that? I never thought about that. I
Got it.
was like content with what I had,
Yeah.
because mom and dad never made us feel like this person has more, or we're getting this more, or like it didn't ever phase me.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know.
So really, you're a really good person. That's
No,
really respectable.
I don't know about that. Well, because I
uh,
also know they were at different points, stages in their life. When you're starting out,
yeah.
different, and then also when you're trying to figure out how to raise kids in America, where the culture is totally night and day compared to India,
Right.
plus figuring out financial
Yeah.
stability, it's hard. But
Right.
I had everything. I mean, I had everything that you could want, like to make you happy as a child, which doesn't just mean materialistic things. We used to do picnics in the backyard at Frenchtown, remember?
Hmm.
And like we had the little pool, and then mom and dad bought us that bigger pool,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
hammocks. We had Chirag mama got us that swing set, the play set.
Hmm. Hmm.
We used to go sledding in the back. So you don't need a lot to have happy memories.
Right. Right.
You
Right.
know.
Right. Yeah. That's true. Yeah, we had a lot of those memories. For me, those are fuzzy because I was so young.
I know.
But that also makes you think about, like, when Prutha was born, or when I was born. What were your feelings? Because that's something I would never experience as the youngest. I mean, Prutha
Yeah.
experienced it with me, but you know, I'm wondering what feelings or emotions you kind of went through when we were born, when Prutha was born, when I was born.
Honestly, I don't remember. Like, I don't remember feeling Yeah, I was saying this to someone the other day because Liam, for those of you that are listening, my son is 3.5 and our daughter Maya is 6 months. And sometimes I'm like, oh, am I not paying enough attention to him now because I'm with her, or you know what I mean? But then I think about us, and I was 9 years older than you, and I don't even remember being ever like jealous or like upset if like mom had to feed you or do something like that. Like I
Yeah,
don't remember ever having those types of feelings. It was just we were like all best friends. Like we just, grew
right,
up together, and then that was that. So I don't remember. And I'm like, oh, well, if I don't remember, then Liam's not going to remember at 3.5.
right, right,
You
right.
know?
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, that moment of like when we were born. I guess it does make sense because you were also very young when we were
Yeah.
born. So, I mean, it definitely makes sense. I would say, I guess, did you ever feel like the need or not the need or the just like, oh, like I want to protect the younger siblings or like ever any of that ever of like, oh, because
Now I do. But
yeah,
Bruto will tell you this is not proud of this, but we were waiting for the bus one day at Frenchtown at the old house,
yeah,
and the neighbors across the street had a dog.
yeah,
I was like, not vicious, but he was just like, it could be a little intimidating. And we
yeah,
were waiting for the bus, and the dog came charging at us across the street.
yeah.
And instead of me putting Brutha behind me to protect her, I put her in front of me. And I was like, ah, Brutha, ah. And she was like, yeah, there she is, like standing there. She was probably like 8 or something. And I'm like 13. So bad.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
hopefully my instincts as a mother has changed that.
Hopefully you don't throw Liam in front of you.
No!
Liam's like, no, no, no.
Well, when I got Bentley, which is our little Maltese, our dog, I was walking her and a pit bull came charging across the street, like onto our property.
Yeah,
And I picked her up and I like held her on my head. And I was like, oh no, I don't want him to eat her. So I guess that was a good improvement.
yeah, 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 definitely.
That was before I had kids. So,
Right, right, right.
at some point your instincts and
Yeah,
values kick in.
right, right. I
But now I feel like, yeah, I would like beat anybody up for you guys,
yeah, yeah,
if I had to.
yeah. That's good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely would prove the same similar story. I can't wait till she hears this. But there's for all our listeners, we were in on jet skis in Mexico in the ocean, and it was such a dumb fall. So like Pooja was on a separate jet ski, and Pruta and I were on one jet ski, and we hit jet ski. We stopped the engines of our jet skis, and then they just kind of came together and they
Yeah, because
bumped.
the water like collided
Yeah,
us.
they just collided with no force, but just because the water was pushing it together. So they hit, and then Pruta and I fell off.
Yeah.
And the first thing in my head, I was thinking were like sharks in the water.
Oh,
And Pruta was trying to climb. Yeah, Pruta was trying to climb onto the jet ski, and I shoved her off and got on first, and then she came on, but I totally ruined her momentum.
sorry, Brutha. We love you.
We love
We love you.
you.
Love you, promise.
So I can totally relate to that. There was also the time though, another questionable time when we were on a vacation in Aruba, and you
Yeah.
drilled me in my happy place with
Testicles.
right, exactly, yeah, with the tennis ball.
I hit your balls with a ball.
Yeah, yes, you did.
I just didn't mean to, but I did have pretty good aim.
Well, yeah, you did. I mean, it was right there. Were
I
you
hope you
aiming
can
for
have
that?
kids. What?
Were you no? Well, I hope I hold on. Wait, the first one. Yeah, I hope I have kids too. Um, I did you? So you were you aiming it there? You were aiming it there.
I was aiming it there. I was younger too. I was only, well, actually, I was pretty old. I was in college, so I was pretty old. But podcast isn't going too well in my favor. I'm
No,
a
no,
good person, I swear.
no. No, I have another experience to bring it back. I just want to dig into that one. So, do you remember the moment I
Yeah.
fell on the ground.
Yeah.
And it was probably funny. I mean, looking back, I think it's funny.
Yeah, but I didn't realize how much that hurts a guy, obviously, because I'm not a guy.
Right. Right.
I don't have testicles. But I felt bad. Now I
You heard it here first. No, I'm kidding.
You heard it here first. She's a girl. Yeah, I felt bad because you were in a lot of pain.
Yeah.
And then I was laughing, so I don't think that made it better.
Yeah. And then mom and dad would always protect me. They're like, "Why'd you do?" They wouldn't do anything, but they'd just look at you and be like, "Why? What happened?
Why would you do that? That's horrible. I know, because if Maya did that to Liam, I'd be like, "What? Why? Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason for you to do that."
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I think too. Like, even with you just saying that being a mom,
Yeah.
does that change your perspective a lot on us, or like being siblings, or just your perspective in general of on certain things?
Yeah. It's a lot of responsibility, you know? You look at the world differently because you want to protect them
Yeah.
to the best of your ability, you know?
Right.
And
Right.
teach them the proper values and,
Right.
you know, make sure you instill confidence in them and respect to other people. And, you know, there's a lot to teach.
Do you think, like, now that you're a mom, if you had that kind of feeling that you did now, or like knowing what it is, you know, kind of so far, like what it has taken to be a mom,
Yeah.
if you were the oldest sibling back in the day, you would have had a more maternal type of perspective on us, like on the younger siblings?
Um, I don't know, because I think it's different when they're like your own kids and
Yeah.
you're solely responsible for them.
Right.
It's like a whole different level. Whereas, like, I know mom and dad have you like that, like they have your back.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you're like,
So
you,
it's more of like a sibling. Like, if anybody like bothers them, like I'll go after them. You know. Whereas with your kids, you have to feed them, bathe them, nurture them. You know, make sure they're safe. Like it's like everything.
right. Yeah.
So it's a little bit different because there's no one like you're the parent. There's no one else that's gonna take care of them like you would take care of them.
Right. That makes
You know?
sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I was just trying to loop it back to siblings,
Yeah.
the
But
topic.
going back to I think you asked like what was different like growing up. Like do I feel like you guys had different things or I think that being the oldest, like when mom and dad were, you know, coming up, working hard, you know, making their dreams come true.
Hmm.
I was working a lot with dad and mom, like in the yard. Like I would do, or just not in the yard, but like housework, chores, things like that. So like landscaping, like we didn't have somebody that would come and cut the grass. You know, dad would do it, and I would help them or be out there with them. Or we didn't have like a gardener that would come and plant flowers. Like me and mom did that together, so she taught me that.
Hmm.
I remember when we redid the driveway at Frenchtown. Like we
Hmm.
took the blacktop off and we put rocks
Hmm.
and me and dad put like the plastic down underneath. We sprayed the weed killer. We put all the stones on. Like it was like a big project. Nowadays, you just hire somebody to do that.
Yeah.
But we did that. It took us a long time. You know, I
Yeah.
took the trash out. Like I had a lot of responsibility that made me very confident and like more independent. That like I could do this. You know, like when I went away to school or
Yeah.
anything like that. So I feel like maybe having less is actually better because then you do become more independent and you have those memories with your parents, you know. It's like, oh,
Right.
I did this with my dad, I did this with my dad, you know. We picked the weeds out of the front yard, like, you know. It's like it's fun. Like I like those memories because those things made me who I am. You know,
Yeah.
they're part of who I am today,
Yeah.
and I want my kids to learn that too, that not everything just happens. You got to make it happen.
Yeah. No, that's really interesting. That's a good point, because then you're right. You have to, if you have to have a lot of responsibility in the house growing up, then
Yeah. Even raking the leaves. Like I used to remember I used to be out there by myself raking the leaves, jumping in them.
Yeah.
like putting them in the bag and stuff.
Hmm.
Like I feel like we were like very independent as siblings growing up.
Right.
Like we did stuff together, but there's a lot of times that I was doing my own thing, Pooja was doing her own thing. Like you were a baby, so
Right.
obviously you were doing your own thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But all of us have a different upbringing in the sense where like we all have different memories, we all have a different like life journey. Like if I were to tell you my story and like Ruth would tell hers, you would tell yours, like it's interesting because we're all siblings, but we all have such different like memories or
Yeah.
upbringings.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's true. It is very different. It's different, like personalities
Mm-hmm.
and completely different people, even though we grew up in the same house.
Yeah.
Um,
But like our morals are the same. We have like the same family values. So like the core of what's important, which I think is important, we all are agree on. Like we all have the same values. We put family first.
right.
We love each other so much. Like all that stuff. It's the core foundation is
Right.
the same.
Right.
You know.
Now, did you, when you went to college, or like when we were at home, like Prudha and I, like, did you feel like, were you worried about us ever, like just like being away from us, or like even if I moved to New York, or like, were you ever
I
concerned, or were you like more like confident in each of our?
I wasn't worried about you when I was in college because I was just thinking about myself,
Right.
honestly.
Right. Right.
It's a little selfish
Well, same.
because I'm like, how am I going to navigate this? Oh my God, I have to
Yeah.
make new
Yeah.
friends. Like, who's going to be friends with me?
Yeah.
All this
Yeah.
stuff. So I was kind of just in the zone. Like, I wasn't even thinking about anything else but like what I had to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
But after that, then when you moved to New York, I was like, remember I would tell you, like, don't stand, when you're waiting for the subway, stand against the wall, or, don't walk
Yeah.
around with your headphones in, well, now AirPods or whatever,
Yeah.
because you have to make sure you're going to listen to what's going on around you,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
things like that. So as I got older, obviously, I grew out of just having to worry about myself,
Right. Right. Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. I think that's a pretty normal thing. I mean, similar. When I went to college, worrying about myself, and then
Yeah.
I think generally when you're a kid and you're growing up, you're trying to figure everything out for
Yeah.
yourself or whatever you're going through.
Being
So
away from home for the first time, scary.
yeah, yeah,
But also now with text, it's so much easier to like contact people and be like, hey, you're all right. Like text me when you get home. You hear that all the time.
Mhm.
Like text me. Like I just said that to Bruta. Like text me later, when you get home safe.
yeah. It As you continue talking about it, it makes me feel like more. I know the topic's old, the sibling anxiety, but it makes me feel like there's like similar. It's just a similar experience growing up
Yeah.
for each child. If
Yeah,
you
because
have,
you're just trying to maneuver through your current situation,
right,
and follow like with the times, grow with the times and
yeah. Do you think
things.
a factor of it though too for us in terms of like nurturing each other too, like or directly when we were younger, has to do with us being like or about 4 years apart each, like because we have that age gap.
Yeah,
So like I know other families have like, well, there'd be a bunch of brothers or maybe a bunch of sisters and they're like 1 or 2 years apart.
right,
Do you think that affected? Because I think another aspect of this is by the time I was in high school,
right.
both you and Frida were out of the house.
Yeah,
And by the time I was in, what would it be, like fourth grade?
yeah,
Fifth grade, you were out of the house.
right.
So that's a pretty intense kind of feeling, right? Because we probably had not, 12 years, but even once I could start to like
Yeah,
um, understand things, it wasn't that
right.
long. And then we started talking a lot in college.
Yeah,
When
like
I was a
9 years is a lot of a big age gap, you
right.
know?
Yeah.
So it's like when you were 9, I was 18 going to college,
Right. Right.
which is like huge. It's like night and day. You were playing
Yeah.
baseball and I was out having happy hours when I wasn't supposed to be or whatever I was doing, skipping class.
Yeah.
So, so I feel like we got closer as we got older
Right. Right.
because once you guys got older and you kind of, we had more things in common to talk about, you know, whether it was sports or I don't know, just anything.
Yeah.
Food. Food.
Yeah. I used to have that lisp. Have you seen my baseball?
Hey guys, have you seen my baseball? I don't know if you did or we just made that up.
Oh, nice. That's great. You guys made it up.
I don't know. We'll never know. Or when Pooja dropped you in between the bed and the closet because mom wouldn't let her pick you up.
Yeah, for
Like,
our
I'm
listeners,
gonna pick them up when nobody's around. Drop.
for our listeners, which may include Prutha, I just want to say it's okay.
It's okay. It's fine. It made him funnier.
Yeah.
It made him who he is.
It's the reason I've gotten into comedy and podcasting, or else I would not have.
Something shifted during that drop that made you who you are today.
Something got jumbled up and not rearranged in a disoriented format, which made me.
Oh man, that's just horrible.
Well, there was a time I was underneath the bed and there was a screw underneath the bed, and I put my hand up, and the screw went.
No, it was underneath the table, the dining table.
Oh, the dining table, yeah.
Yeah, and it went like right in your head.
Yeah. And then there was
man.
and then I showed it to mom, and I think you were there, right? You and Prutha?
Yeah, I think so.
And then you guys are like, "Oh, it's a lollipop." It's like, no, it's a little bit of blood.
Cause I think the blood was like dried or something.
Oh, got it.
Something like that. The only thing, what?
No, you go.
No, the only thing about what's tough about being the oldest in a new country is that everything you do that's not done in India is wrong, or it's shunned upon, or it's like, oh my God, you're so bad, you're such a bad kid, you know, like no one, you're not allowed to talk to boys in India. You can't even have friends that are boys, you know?
Right.
So I remember when I would talk to whoever, like when we were back at our old house and Kaka was living with us. Kaka's means uncle in our language, just so everybody knows.
Yeah.
I would be talking to my friend who was a boy, and he would literally listen to the entire conversation on the other line. Like, where is that getting anyone?
Yeah.
But that was not allowed, you know?
Right.
Dating was like, what? Because in India, it's like if you date a person, you're marrying the person.
Yeah.
So that was tough. And then even like in high school, like drinking and partying and all that stuff, it was just like, I didn't think it was, I just thought it was normal. So I was like, I'm hanging out with this great group of friends who are smart, you know, they do well in school, they play sports, they have good families. Like, yeah, so we party on the weekends. Like, I don't see what's wrong with that. Of course, mom and dad were like, oh my God, what's going on?
What's going on? Yeah.
Now they're like, oh, you weren't that bad. I'm like, thanks.
Yeah.
That was tough.
Yeah, I think at that young of an age too, though, it's like when you're introduced to stuff like that, whether it's alcohol or any not just alcohol, but in general, partying or freedom in general. It's not just alcohol. It's like just being able to hang out with your friends. You get a car.
Yeah.
And like I feel like if I wasn't kept in check, like I would have hung out a lot more.
Yeah.
So like that discipline too is like pretty important because it's like once you have independence, you could like.
Oh yeah, I was out of control.
Yeah, especially.
Well, I think it's because I had a lot of boundaries. Like I had a lot of rules.
Right.
So I would like rebel.
Oh, I got it.
Be like, well, why can't, like one of the things was like I could only go out once a week.
Yeah.
Like, so if I went to like a basketball game to support our school, then I couldn't go out on the weekends with my friends. And I was like, well, that doesn't make sense. I'm going anyway.
Yeah. That makes sense. Do you think the parenting, so in that regard, was stricter?
Yeah, definitely.
Wow.
Hands down.
Yeah.
It was pretty intense. But they didn't know what to do, what was right, what was wrong. There is no right or wrong when you're parenting. You just do your best.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
Yeah. Do you think they were more scared just as the first child, and then the sibling, maybe people take the parents
and the girl too?
Yeah, more cautious.
Yeah, I guess they were like, oh my God, if she's doing this now, she's going to be, do this forever. It's going to ruin her life. And, all these things go through your head. I get it.
Yeah.
Especially now being a parent. You're like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
No, they go out into the real world and they have their own, like you said, freedom, a car and money and whatever. And it's like, what are they doing? I
Yeah.
was just going to Wendy's. So
It's just going to Wendy's. I used to love the spicy nuggets
yep, yep.
back
I
in the
still do.
yeah. Yeah.
I had them a couple weeks ago.
A couple weeks ago. Nice. I yeah, that's great. That makes sense. That's a good point, right? Because if they, when I talked to Dad on the last episode, but he like said, coming from India, you
Yeah.
don't know the culture, and they're probably scared, like they don't know.
Yeah, it is scary.
Yeah,
It's a
anything.
culture shock,
Yeah,
literally.
yeah.
And I didn't make it any easier. So
But that's not it, but it's a double culture shock because they're having a culture shock, and
right.
then their children, which are us, are gonna have the culture shock too. The first one, especially you.
Yeah. But I didn't really have a culture shock because I didn't know any different. So I was just growing up in America and I was like, this is what people do. And I don't know why mom and dad are flipping out. Everybody's doing it. Like,
Yeah.
so cliche. Everyone's doing it.
Yeah.
But for mom and dad, they were like, what is this? Oh my God.
Right. That one would be less of a culture shock for you, more of a parent shock for them.
Yeah. But then you guys, like, as time went, I like paved the way for you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I thought about that too. Is like what I definitely observed what happened to you guys.
Not to do.
And what to do, right? Because you guys did things well.
Yeah.
Like any person, and I did things that were if I had the younger sibling that I'm sure they would probably learn from too. So I think that's the nature of it, and I think if you're going to make mistakes, but obviously the youngest sibling's going to witness all the things that happen to the oldest sibling,
Right.
And I think that's the difference. That's one of the differences of being the youngest versus being the oldest. Obviously you can't pick.
I know, and like we'll never know any different.
Right. But if you could pick which one, being the oldest, middle, or youngest, even if it was the three of us, right?
Yeah.
Like you don't have to change any of that. Like it's the same siblings, all of us are still in the family. Which one would you rather be?
The oldest.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. It's just fun. You get to do everything like for the first time because you're the oldest, and then I don't know, you see your siblings grow up, like that's cool.
Yeah.
Like I was able to see you guys like develop and come into your own.
Yeah.
Young adults, so that was nice. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good.
I liked getting in trouble. No.
Look at it. That's interesting. Yeah. I mean, it's good that because you were born the oldest, so that's good. It's a good match.
Yeah, it works out well. Imagine if I was like, I wish I was the youngest.
I've wanted to express this whole time, and this podcast is finally given me.
Nobody's been asking me this for 33 years.
When I saw you started the podcast, my first thought was I have to get on that and say this.
And it took me 34 episodes.
You've been holding me back for so long. That'd be funny if you kept messaging me and I just kept pushing
ignoring me. But like when we saw each other, you never brought it up and I never brought it up.
Yeah.
But I would just keep messaging you every other week.
Yeah.
Got room for me? You got room for me?
You got room for me? Shiv, I'm your sister. Shiv, I'm your sister. Shiv, I'm your sister.
I'm the oldest. I'm the oldest. This is why I don't want to be the oldest.
You gave up hope and you just send me a message of what to say on behalf of you to weave in on the podcast.
Like, can you say this the next time you have a podcast?
Any podcast.
You like introduce somebody, but it has nothing to do with them.
Yeah, I just have to get that information. And if the listeners don't know, my sister Pooja and I, we go on tangents like that a lot. So
yeah.
Please bear with us.
Sorry, guys. Whoever's still listening.
Hopefully, anyone who's still listening. everyone's like, oh, all right, I'm just gonna.
Like,
Well, no, it's funny because we've talked about this before. You've said like on the podcast, you were like mentioned like the listens. I was like, the listens are going up.
yeah.
And this
And
is
I told you it's because people are unemployed. I was like, well, there's a pandemic. People are unemployed. What else are they going to
do? Yeah. And and I'm like, what do you mean?
What do you mean? I mean, people are home and they're listening to podcasts. But then you said to me, people listen to podcasts at work, which I had no idea.
Yeah.
Nobody did that when I was working.
Yeah, I was trying to defend it.
We weren't allowed to listen to podcasts or even have cell phones out. Now you kids can do everything.
Well, it depends on what industry you're in. Because if you're in an industry where you're in Excel spreadsheets a lot, which I have been in, like, and you are just in Excel and you're just doing tasks.
Yeah.
You don't have meetings. Meetings aren't the majority of my work week, or I think a lot of people who are, in corporate or just have one of those types of jobs, like you're kind of in an Excel sheet, so you can have things in your ears.
Yeah, that's true.
Especially once you learn the job.
I guess it's kind of like listening to the radio.
Yeah. So.
Like when I was working, we'd always have the radio on.
Yeah. But you're also in real estate, and I think being like in real estate, like you have to kind of be more communication, more phone calls.
Yeah, definitely. So the radio would be on, but like in the back, like super low,
Yeah.
Like in the background.
It'd be hard to listen to a podcast in that environment.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah. But we also brought up like, oh, this is I remember I told you, I'm like, maybe one day this podcast will become big for being like the best podcast to fall asleep to. Like maybe
fall asleep.
And
maybe this will be the episode that does it for people. Like, shoot, that episode with your sister put me right to sleep. It was great. I listened to it every night to fall asleep.
Yeah, I tried meditation and everything, but this was the best.
Forget the Calm app.
The Calm app.
Who needs magnesium when I can just listen to your sister's podcast? Ambien? What's that?
I forgot about drugs after listening to this podcast.
I never took Benadryl to sleep. What are you talking about? I just listened to Pooja's podcast.
Pooja's Chief's podcast. I just listened to UnCoMfY CoNvOs. The host has a soothing voice that puts me to sleep.
All I need is the intro. Oh man!
If you're man boy, everyone falls asleep right then and there.
It's just the music. Thanks to Andrew.
They hit play and they fall asleep. It's just on a dime. Yeah, that was fun. That was fun to talk about the podcast like that. I hope listeners are still entertained. I did want to bring up one story that sheds you in a bright light. I mean, we all have stories where I pushed Pruta off the jet ski too. I'm not perfect.
It happens. Shit happens.
Pruta dropped me, and then I pushed Pruta. It's just karma.
Yeah. She's never done anything to me, but
Yeah. That's okay.
Yeah.
We can move on. Yeah. There was this one time, so we were at a ski resort in Vermont.
Oh my God.
Vacation, Okemo, on a ski mountain. We went up like 3 ski lifts. It was getting very
fun. You guys wanted to do the Black Diamond. I said you can't do it.
Yeah, and Pruta and I believed we could. We had a little bit of overconfidence, and as I was going up, I recognized, and I was like, no, I knew. Once we got on the second ski lift and we were going up, and I saw fog and I couldn't see the bottom of the mountain, I'm like, no way. And I recognized at least.
It was so bad.
Before we went down, like, there's no way, and we both recognized it. We all knew.
Yeah.
And then we were going up. Then we were on this third ski lift, and we're like, I think there was 3.
Yeah.
And then the third one, we're like, after, the second one was a lot. And then the third ski lift continuing to take us up the mountain was like, we can't see the base.
Yeah.
And I was like, uh-oh. Black Diamond, Vermont, this is like, we're really.
Yeah, it was the real deal.
And so, so we started going down. And what happened from your perspective?
A shit show.
Yeah.
Shiv fell. Wait, no. Did you tumble?
I I did, but
Yeah.
I did.
I was in the middle and Prutha was in front of me and she fell and hit her head on the back of the mountain.
Prutha fell. Yeah.
Prutha did. And then you were behind me and I think you like tumbled.
Because
So
I, yep.
Good.
Because I was going down the mountain and I saw Prutha fall and I saw
Yeah.
you stop for Prutha and
Yeah.
I was just accelerating down the mountain and it was like a 90-degree, it was like straight down and I was not slowing.
No.
So I said to myself, I have to do the pizza. I'm going to try to stop, but I knew
That's what you did. Yeah, yeah. You tried to.
I forced myself, but I knew I was going to fall. That's why you saw the tumble, because I knew if I waited longer, I would have been, who knows what would have happened. Right?
Oh, God.
That could have been a lot worse if I kept going down.
Yeah.
But I knew I had to like fall then.
Yeah.
Basically, I was like, if I fall now, like.
Right. And then I was stuck in the middle. I didn't know who to help out.
Yeah, the worst thing. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So then Prutha had like a bloody lip because I think she bit her lip.
Mm-hmm.
And then the people, the ski ambulance, police, whatever you call them, ski mobile ambulance came. And you guys had to be like lifted down or dragged down the mountain.
Yeah, not even dragged down. They skied with us on their backs.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, they did.
What?
It was like
No, they didn't.
It was the ultimate middle finger. It was
No,
like
they didn't.
it was like, yeah, you guys can't do this. We can do this with you on our backs. They did. I remember. We were in a sled and they skied with us on their backs.
Oh, you were in a sled, not the snowmobile?
No.
And I was skiing alongside you guys.
Yeah, I don't know how you were doing it.
Because I skied. I was a skier.
Yeah. We were too, but not as.
No, you were not.
They skied us down the mountain. I remember it vividly.
No, I know, but I'm just saying that you guys should have been on like the green slopes.
Yeah, the bunny rabbit one, the bunny one.
No, I upgraded you from the bunny to the green. Because it's like the bunny slope, green, blue, black. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. You're right. I think those are the levels. So in that moment where we both fell, what was your first reaction? Were you like?
I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
What is gonna happen? Like I can't. What do I do? Well, I was just happy you guys were both okay.
Yeah.
Then I was like, how are we gonna get? Like, how can I get them down the mountain by myself?
Right.
And then I think we asked somebody for help. Like, we need help, and they came.
Yeah, and skied us.
But
down.
you guys were both fine. Like, you know, nobody was like passed out or got a concussion or, God forbid, you know, got really, really injured.
Yeah.
And then mom and dad were at the bottom of the mountain. They're like, what happened?
Not good things.
Not good things.
Not good. We took a tumble.
We had some good memories though.
Yeah.
A lot of good memories.
A lot of them. Yeah. That was one memorable one that I remember you resolving.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're getting towards the end of the pod of the hour, but
No.
I know, so sad. But I was gonna ask like just about. I wanted to play Uno with you because so for our listeners, Pooja and I play Uno almost every night, and
on House Party.
On House Party, plug House Party. Hope
Yep.
maybe ad money will come in. I don't know how that works.
Hashtag House Party. Hashtag House Party.
Yeah, I don't know how that happens, but I don't think no phone, right?
I don't have my phone.
That's all right. So we can talk about Taco Bell. So basically, back up. So at the end, I was going to talk about Taco Bell, and we have just basically pick what you kind of get at Taco Bell.
I get the same thing every time. I get 2 crunchy bean tacos, add onions. That's my new thing, and 2 soft bean tacos with onions.
Got it. Does it make you fart?
I don't think so.
Got it. I think I feel a little bit gassy after.
I mean, they're beans.
Yeah.
I was pissed today. They forgot the beans. They gave me a freaking taco with cheese, lettuce, and onions. I was like, what is this? I could make this at home.
Yeah.
I was so obsessed with Taco Bell that when I was pregnant with Liam, I was on bed rest and I would literally drive to the Staten Island Mall, walk through the mall to the food court because it was the only Taco Bell on Staten Island, and get Taco Bell and then drive back home.
Yeah. What do you think they have in it that makes it so good, or that like makes you want to
I
come
think
back?
it's the sauce.
Really?
Yeah. Because when mom makes nachos at home, as long as you use the Taco Bell sauce, it tastes great.
Yeah. But do you think the beans are a mix too? I think the beans.
Yeah,
are good.
the beans something.
Yeah. I don't know
Uh,
what keeps us coming back, and it's definitely like a heavy Indian population.
Definitely an Indian thing
Partly, yeah.
because it's like flavorful,
Yeah.
but not really because it's beans and lettuce.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I don't know what's going on, but if you had to choose one fast food joint, it'd be that one.
mm, oh, well, I don't know now because they discontinued the spicy tostada and I'm pissed.
So you might rebel.
Maybe. I like Wendy's a lot.
Really? What's your favorite there?
I always get the chicken nuggets.
Do you get? Have you ever gotten the spicy ones though?
Yeah, they're good, but I still like the original.
Yeah, they were
They
really
also have like baked potatoes,
good.
salads,
Yeah,
and more of a variety. But yeah, you're right. I would pick Taco Bell.
yeah, yeah. If you were to choose, I remember when I was little, you would make the chicken
Oh, the chicken.
for me, like breaded chicken.
Yeah,
That was pretty good.
I know. I should start cooking again.
You still cook. That's
I
not.
know.
Yeah, we're cooking for Thanksgiving.
We are.
And that's a perfect way to wrap it up. That for our listeners, have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Pooja, thank you so much for being on. I love you.
Thank you. I love you. And I'm glad that we have the relationship that we have. I wonder if all siblings have our relationship.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know, me, you, and Bruta.
Yeah,
Pretty unique.
pretty unique. Yeah.
From what I understand, it's very rare, but let us know, guys. You
Yeah.
know,
let, it-
you
let
have
us,
if you have a great relationship with your siblings, we'd love to hear about it.
yeah. And if you don't, we'd love to hear about that too.
Exactly. That could be another fun podcast.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Or just message us. Just
Yeah.
message Pooja and I on in a group chat
Yep.
on Instagram. Just add us both to the group chat and
I'd love to talk to you.
yeah, share however you feel. But no, I think that was insightful. We definitely learned about what it's like to be the oldest sibling. I feel like a lot of your insights are kind of it's just we're just siblings.
Yeah, I mean, there's really not much. I think the main thing is that growing up in a different country is the biggest. Like, I wonder if oldest siblings in America, whose parents have been in America for 50, 60 years,
Yeah.
have like, like go through oh, you're grounded because you had a party or, this or that, whatever. Like, I wonder. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think that was the biggest hurdle
Yeah.
was maneuvering that because mom and dad were like,
What's going
confused.
on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Did
overall,
yeah. Overall.
it was good.
Yeah. Did you feel because you brought up like basically mom and dad immigrating, did you feel like I guess you didn't because you explained it already of because you were around people you kind of didn't mesh like kind of copy them.
Yeah.
You were in had the same social cues and the social habits
Yeah.
that they had, so you didn't like stick out or anything. I think about international students at when I went to college,
Yeah.
and they grew up in a different country and then they came here. Like I've
Yeah.
noticed that before of like that's a huge change, but I guess if your parents are immigrants but you grew up from a
Yeah.
very young age here, could be less of that anxiety.
Well, they were concerned too. I remember dad, I think, went to the high school at one point and talked to, I don't want to say the name, but
Yeah.
someone that could, like a guidance counselor or something. And he was like, oh, my daughter, Pooja, she's doing this, she's doing that. I think she's maybe out of control. And they were like, Pooja, like Patel. And he's like, yeah, that's my daughter. They were like, she's fine. But, like mom and dad didn't know that, like, that's what all the kids were kind of doing within reason, whatever. Not that we were doing anything. You'd go to games, you hang out with your friends, you go to parties. Like, it wasn't
Yeah, yeah,
anything
yeah.
out of the norm. but it is for new parents that just came here from India. For them, it's a
Yeah.
culture shock. So they really did their best, and they raised us really well.
They did a good job. Shout
They're
out,
awesome.
yeah, shout out to them as well.
Shout out to Mom and Dad Patel.
Yeah.
Thanks for giving us an amazing life
Yeah.
to this day.
But yeah, thanks so much for being on. Is there anything you want to plug at the end of this? Anything you want to share, or just plug an event? I know we're in COVID times, but
I know, it's tough. No, not really. I mean, just be happy, be healthy, and find gratitude in every day.
Yeah. And Liam's first soccer game is to be determined, but it'll probably
Yeah,
be in New
a
York
couple weeks, New York.
in a couple of weeks.
Well, they start. I mean, I don't know when his games are going to be, but it's just like
Yeah.
soccer camp type thing.
Yeah, but
They start December.
Right. But once it's safer, maybe next year. Like, just keep in mind, the listeners, Liam's soccer game and nephew's soccer game, it's gonna come up. So you can all the time.
We'll keep you posted if you want to go to a 4-year-old soccer game.
Yeah, we'll have an UnCoMfY CoNvOs section.
Yeah, he becomes like Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah.
David Beckham.
You never know. He wants to be number one.
He does want to be number one, that's for sure. He's getting his gifts from Amazon this year.
Yeah. Yeah. But thanks so much for doing this. I know it's not easy to go public and talk about things. So
thanks for having me. I loved it.
Yeah.
Anytime you want me back, we could talk about something different.
Yeah, for sure. I'll see you upstairs in a few minutes.
Yeah, I'll see you in a couple minutes.
For the sake of the podcast and the listeners, I will end it here.
Peace out.
Peace out.
Love you.
Yeah, love you. Stay tuned.
Bye. Thanks for listening, guys.
Yeah, stay tuned for the next episode, and you'll hear us soon. All right. Thank you. Peace.